start with some news. I am thrilled to announce that Sif, one of the 5 Asgardians you need to unlock Black Bolt, is coming to the War Store, so her character shards will now be farmable.
I've got this completely under control.
Is that why everything's on fire?
Welcome back to the channel. So yeah, the news about Sif being in the War Store is a massive kick in the pants to most of the player base. Anyone who hasn't already spent a bunch of money to join her. And why in the world would we spend more if this is what we're gonna get? So I definitely do not recommend spending. Not in this scenario where we're being held hostage. Like, we should spend when there's high value in the game and where we're getting some great value out of it. Don't spend just because you're bent over a barrel. That'll just bend you. They'll just bend it over another barrel soon. That is not a good idea. And in the spirit of this, we're gonna invite the channel's resident supervillain to discuss what we should really do from this point forward. Live from Subterranea, it's the Mole Man! Or kind of the Mole Man. I don't have the full get up yet, but I've got the glasses! So, it's, you know, Moley, I got my mole. Folks, we're deep underground. I never win, but I never give up either. So, here's what I think could happen. So, you know, yes, Sif's in the War Store. I don't think they'll change that. I hope that there's some adaptations we can do. But first, what saved us in the Spider-Verse scenario of this, where Carnage was only in the War Store, was when more characters launched. We eventually got the Sinister Six. It was months later. You know, Shuri it was okay not to have Shuri during that time. It's a little tougher to operate without Black Bolt right now because of his availability for so long. He's important to the Blaster Challenge at Tier 12, and it seems to be important to Ultima 7, and as well as a counter to the soon-to-release Red Skull and Hydra. So the Mole Man's not happy about that. I'm gonna bring some buildings down here to the underworld. Anyway, not the underworld so much, but, you know, if Foxneck Scopely is going to pretend to be, you know, causing Ragnarok and tearing Asgard down, then maybe the answers are there too. So what happened with the Sinister Six is, hey, we got better options more easily available later. So maybe we'll get better options more easily available than Sif later. I'm still going to work on Sif, at least from now until then, but that's another section of this. So from Thor Ragnarok, man, we really could use Korg. We need him to lead a revolution. He needs some pamphlets. So we could have someone like Korg load in anytime during this year, because we really have no idea what they have planned to launch past the very near term. The Loki series is going to come out later this year on Disney+. There's rumors that the Enchantress will be there. She's clearly an optional Asgardian. I mean, you might say that Korg's not an Asgardian. Well, neither's Loki. Loki is a frost giant who has Asgardian citizenship. So, you know, Korg certainly has Asgardian citizenship after Ragnarok and Endgame. And then another year out, which hopefully doesn't take that long to make a reasonable option available, you got Thor Love and Thunder, who could have Beta Ray Bill or even Gore the God Butcher. So there could be a lot of great options there that could come in to relieve the necessity of farming the toughest store in the game, the War Store, and not compete with orange gear. Because what happens now if you got to farm Sif in the War Store, it was already ridiculous farming orange gear. So, like, down here in Subterranea, I will tell you, you should not be trying too hard for Dark Dimension 3 now. Like, just take your time. Like this, like the Gold Bolts already felt like it was a year and a half out. Well, now you cut the War Store out because you can't use that currency, because it really is more important to farm Sif than it is to farm more gear and to get into Dark Dimension 3 to eventually get a little more gear. That doesn't make any sense at all. So you should definitely work on Sif. I'm going to work on Sif. Any cores that I get will go to, hey, maybe hopefully we'll have a blitz and I can get, you know, her orb will come back and I can get some shards that way, which would be, you know, through arena instead of through war only. But yeah, it's just going to take even longer. There's only one way to talk about this toilet bowl spiral of the the Sif kick in the pants, because you need Sif shards to be able to collect and star up Black Bolt. Well, you need Black Bolt to be able to counter Red Skull on war defense, because you have to be able to kill those guys because they keep reviving unless you have Black Bolt on your team. Oh, and then once you have that, if you can beat Red Skull, you can have war currency and maybe the win side instead of all losses, which would be a decrease in income. Because you need that currency to buy Sif shards. So, hey, if you don't have Sif, you won't have Black Bolt, you can't beat Red Skull, so you won't have enough currency to get Sif. Isn't that fantastic? I mean, the Mole Man couldn't come up with a better plan in 60, 70 years of fighting the Fantastic Four than this ridiculous scenario. Alright, in addition to getting more Guardian characters available to just take Sif's spot in starring up so that we can unlock and star up Black Bolt, maybe they can do the right thing and make her not only farmable in the War Store. Say like Cable here, he's farmable in the War Store, like many of the other characters. He's also actually in a raid orb. Hey, that'd be pretty great, you know? Like these, this bio orb for Gamma, I've only got one character left in there that is worth anything. Maybe they'll flip it to skill and we can get some Sif shards that way. That could be something to help. That'd be fantastic. Or move her into a node too. Like there's nothing that says that you put her in the War Store. That doesn't have to be the only place. Come on. Like the right thing can still be done. It can hope. I mean, we know that Carnage never got a node, and Graviton just joined, so does not have a node either. I just think that that's the only other thing that we can get. So you can get more characters. You can get them added. Get Sif added, not just to the store, but to other locations as well. I mean, she's not even in orbs yet. I mean, orbs is not really very helpful, but having her nowhere but the War Store, where you only get about, if I averaged out, like, so probably win, lose, a little more than 50% of the time, you get average about 1,400 war currency a day, plus whatever you can clear in nodes. So maybe you can, if you clear 40 characters, it's probably similar. In Raid, we get almost twice that amount of currency every day. And the characters are cheaper in the Raid store than they are in the War store. Like, why? Why? Like, fix the pricing. Like everything else in this game, the pricing needs to be fixed. Like, all levels from 65 to 75 are too expensive. They need to come down. ABCs are too expensive. They need to come down. The price of characters in the War Store is too high and needs to come down, because we need to be able to hit those orange mats too. I mean, it doesn't need to be freely available. We shouldn't be able to accomplish every goal in the game in 3 days and wonder what's going to happen. But I think once you stretch past 6 months, that's not the attention span of someone who can't wait to get home to play on a computer and has decided to play a mobile game. So, I'm trying to help here. If I have to call Mole Man back, I will. But please consider some of these other options. This is really tough. But that's your choice. If you want us to say, hey man, this is too much trouble. It's gonna take me 6 to 8 months. And why? Just because I don't want to play a AAA game on my computer that I can get to in 5 minutes? It's like, I'm playing this mobile game so I can have access to it all the time. But I have it all the time and not be able to do what I need to do on some basic player versus environment. Things like challenges and raids that I do every day. And I have to wait 8 to 9 months or more. Does not compute. Okay, so where's the high ground reaction here? Because, this is a game. It's for fun. It's important that we play it and don't let it play us. So, walking away from it and finding the enjoyment, there's still plenty of enjoyment there, but I'm not going to get played. I'm not going to have bad behaviors encourage me to spend money in a way that I'm not reinforcing good behaviors of the developers and the organizations that are bringing this content to us. So I'm not going to do that. I was ready to spend this year. I was ready to spend on Beast. I was ready to spend on Eternals. I am not going to do that now until some of the stuff's worked out. Like this Sif scenario is total kick in the pants. So they need to unkick our pants and make it right. But here, our high ground reactions is like, just don't let them ruin the game for you. Like, find the part that you like. For me, hey, orange gear is basically not accessible. I'm going to let the ladies here on International Women's Day, smash this beta raid node for you while I talk about it, but I still enjoy that. I like the beta raid. I enjoy the gamma raids, all those things, and alpha 2. I'm trying to figure out Ultimate 7, but there's just not much to it because I can't get to beta because of the kick in the pants with Sif. I'm not going to spend money on those guys. I'm going to de-emphasize my pursuit of Dark Dimension 3 because I have to now cut back on what I can get on orange gear in the war store because I have to work on Sif. I will work freeways, until I get knocked down in an arena, which I'm still in the top 10. I'm doing okay. I will save my cores that if we have a Sif blitz, I can spend on Sif orbs. So I can save myself some war currency. Right? I can do that. That's something I can implement myself. And to make the game stay what I need it to be. I'm going to, just milestone and chill in blitzes. I don't need a bunch of new teams. They don't need to sell me Black Order or any of the other teams for me to be able to clear milestones. I don't need them. And the current tiers of challenges go to tier 14 gear. We can't get there because they put the constraints on too high. So they can't put a tier 13. They can put a tier 13, but nobody's getting it. So it's not worth even thinking about for me. I would also say, we have, if there is a Sif blitz, we can push for that. I'll focus my characters to level 65, which is inexpensive, and gear tier 12, which is readily available. I'll blitz and chill. I will use my cores for 50 core energy refreshes of campaign and 3 times of the event energy refreshes, and that's it. I'll work on arena, have some fun, record some stuff, find a way for all of us to have fun together here on YouTube, and past that, we will make it work.